Okay, back on my vlogging thing. Yeah, I was gone the last 2 days because it was my birthday weekend, and basically once it started, you know, it was pretty non-stop, so I didn't have time for any vlog activities or anything of that kind. I'll probably upload a video with, you know, sort of like just the clips and photos from the weekend. It was pretty sick. It was really fucking sick. So Johnny flew in Wednesday, I believe. Lewis and Eric came Thursday. Alex came Thursday morning. Tim came Thursday evening. And yeah, so Thursday we picked up the Porsche from the dealership, or at least they did. I and Lewis attempted in various ways to pick up the convertible, the BMW from 6 at the airport, and it was a no-go, so we had to wait till Friday morning to pick it up instead. So what we did on Thursday night was we went to Kabongo African Restaurant, which I think actually, I don't have my contacts, I can't see, but I think it might be on this block, if not the next. Had a pretty good African dinner. Tim and Alex both were into it. It was their first time having African food, so I was happy. Because, you know, Alex is the most risk-averse person I know with food. He always does insane amounts of research. Has to look at all the Google reviews before he's willing to spend money to eat at a restaurant. And even if it's not his money, I guess he still just has that same pattern. And Tim also is very weird about everything. But yeah, they both enjoyed it. So that made me happy. And yeah, I mean, after that, we went to Pueblo Español for, I think it was called Mascarada. They had a Halloween party. And it was like, to be honest, not that great. But at the same time, like, the other option would have been Soho House, and the Soho party got canceled because of flooding that was happening in parts of Spain, including, you know, all this rain here that's going on today. I guess it's just some ongoing thunder system or weather system, whatever the word is. So yeah, we went to Pueblo Español, stayed out pretty late till like 4 or 5 a.m. Woke up absolutely dead. Oh yeah, Lewis, Tim and I. Well, all of us really, but Lewis, Eric and I rather, had to wake up fairly early to go to the airport to pick up the convertible. There was a BMW 8 Series, 853 or something like that. And so yeah, running on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then we had to get to the yacht by 12. I told everyone by 11, but really it was by 12. We ended up getting there a little bit before 1. Got the BMW. Without any issues. Finally, we drove to the airport. We drove from the airport to the marina. Eric went back, picked up the boys. They went to the marina. And then we went on the yacht. Tim gave me my birthday gift. Everyone else had given my birthday gift at various points throughout or before. Yeah, Tim gave me my birthday gift, and then I don't actually remember what Johnny got me. But whatever. We went on the boat, and it was actually kind of cool for the first like 30 minutes, and then just the waves were insane, and we all got massively seasick, and I hated it. Let's just say that. I wouldn't say it was a waste of money. Actually, I don't think it was a waste of money. That was a very fun and cool experience. But you know, I spent like maybe €3,000, 3K euros in for what was not particularly a fun time. Just a unique or interesting experience to have had. Then on that ride, Tim got massively seasick, which kind of fucked him up for the rest of the day. That night we went to Loma Alto for dinner, got steak. Kundai flaked on me, of course. And it sort of was like, you know, I've always given him the benefit of the doubt. And I think that I sort of just saw this as like a last minute thing of like, oh, is this guy like my friend really or no? Because if I would like let you know a month out that I'm doing something, um, that's important, you know, and you don't make it, then it's like, okay, that speaks to the nature of our relationship, and I can sort of understand like how to place you. And yeah, he didn't show up. Apparently his wife had some last minute issue and had to go to the hospital. You know, it's always an emergency. And then I was just like, dude, no worries, hope she's better. And then the next day he was like, so what's the plan for the rest of the thing? And I was just like, hey, we're doing a bunch of stuff. I don't really think it like would be interesting to you, but if it is, let me know. And I didn't hear back. So yeah, it's kind of a shame because he is a cool guy, but I feel like I have to have boundaries around my time and how and really like I guess self-worth and who I choose to invite into my life, basically. So if you keep saying no, whether directly or indirectly, like it's like, okay, dude, message understood. So yeah, he's X'd from the list forever. If I see him on the street or stuff, I'll say hi, but you know, c'est la vie. What else? So yeah, so that night we went to Shoko, which was massively fun. Tim unfortunately was not able to come because of his seasickness. He's just got a very sensitive stomach, little bitch ass nigga. No, he's got a very sensitive stomach, so it just like fucked with him for the whole day. He had to leave the restaurant early. We went to Loma Alta for dinner, as I said, and he had a birthday cake and all this stuff. So he had to leave the restaurant early. I packed some steak to go for him, and we met up later in the night, really literally at midnight, to give him the food. And because he couldn't come, we decided to postpone taking the MDMA to the next day, which we weren't really sure where we were going to do that next day. But yeah, we went out, had a lot of fun at Shoko, to be honest. I did try to see if I could get the reservation pushed back a day, and they were like, no, absolutely not. There's no way we can do that. And I was like, fuck you. But I mean, it's understandable, I do get it. But it was like, hey, I had to at least try. So after that, getting distracted as always. You know, I'm gonna get distracted over here to the side. So I guess, yeah, we went to Shoko, and me, Louis, Johnny, and Eric. Alex couldn't come because the next day was Taco's birthday, obviously, so he had to leave pretty early. Man, dude, everybody, first of all, I'm just happy all my friends like actually met and they all liked each other and they all got along, which was great, you know, because I just knew they would actually genuinely vibe. They just like, it's a lot of shit talking on the internet and amongst the different groups, but they actually vibe, so I love that. And yeah, so that night in Shoko, it was okay. I feel like I don't even really think it was very like, I don't know, I don't remember myself particularly talking to a lot of girls. I saw Katerina, the Ukrainian girl I went on the coffee date with maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, that she works at Shoko, and I sort of realized like, I think this girl might be a whole. I'm not totally sure, but like, you know, I just saw her standing at a table full of niggas. And it was just like, I don't know, it made me feel a little bit sad for her, I guess. Like, she's just like very, very beautiful, innocent looking girl. And it made me understand like, oh yeah, her social media, her Instagram stories literally just always either gym, her, I guess, eating, you know. There was a trip to France that was clearly paid for by some rich older guy. Or like photos of her ass, essentially, like photos of her body. And she works at Shoko. So it's like 1 + 1 =. But again, you never really know. I don't really know. But it was a bit off-putting. And even seeing her in the environment was a bit off-putting. Just, yeah, an image girl or bottle girl or pay for play or whatever it may be. I don't know. So, yeah, I would say it made me a little bit sad. Just, you know, the way life is. Not even really about her specifically. I mean, she's an adult. She's making her own decisions, but just the way that life is and the things that people do or may have to do or may choose to do because they don't know better. So, you know, that is what it is. Beyond that, I just did what I would consider to be a pretty weak approach to a girl on the street. That's just me breathing through the rejection. So, yeah, like I was saying, I don't actually remember talking to a ton of girls. I remember one or two that really stood out. 2 Spanish girls from Madrid on the beach that were, you know, on their way home, that were definitely pullable. Absolutely. But the one friend was not into Lewis or Eric. Sorry, Johnny or Eric. And the other girl was into me. But I was never like totally win over her friend. So, you know, the friend was an obstacle in the situation, I guess. So I just said add me on Instagram, and she was like, okay, sure. And all this kind of stuff. Other than that, nothing that really stands out. Yeah. Nothing that truly stands out. What can I say about that night? Okay, so then Saturday we were supposed to go paintballing, but a bunch of people had canceled, and it looked like it was going to be very rainy, and I didn't want to really go anymore, to be honest. We were all sort of tired. We knew we were going to take MDMA at Razzmatazz that night, so it was kind of like, and MDMA was going to be a painful experience, so it's kind of like, is there really a point? So I met with Kian and 2 of his friends, so Argentinian guys. We all got lunch. It's machete. And from there, we hung out. We drove those guys back to their place before them. They actually lived right next to the restaurant, and I had dinner in a few weeks ago. So yeah, that was it. Came back home, chilled, slept, prepped for the night. And then we went to Razzmatazz, and that was a vibe. MDMA is a crazy drug. It was my first time taking it, and I had no idea. I will say I now understand why people get addicted to this drug. And there was definitely the classic moments of like the first hour you take it, it's like you're waiting, nothing's happening, dude, it's not working, nothing happened. And I took, I took another bit more after about 30 minutes. And then I was going to take another bit more, like an hour in. But I remember, like, there was a voice in my head that was like, oh yeah, the classic mistake people make with MDMA is that they take it and nothing happens in the first hour, and they take a bunch more. And then they're like, all of a sudden, the like first batch, the come on comes on strong, which the come on came on strong, bro. Like, I was vibing. We were all vibing. And we did the like classic, like, oh, I love you, bro. I love you too, man. I really love you guys. All that stuff. And apparently I was out of it. I was like zonked. I just like stared at my phone. I texted Diela a message. I texted mom. No, I texted dad a message. Or at least I wrote a long message that I haven't texted dad yet, but I will clean it up a bit and send it to him either today. I think I'll do it today. And I was just like in my phone, and the music was insane and the vibes were good, and I was just like, oh my God, I can see why people love this. And the time just flew by, like really massively flew by, much faster than you'd imagine. And then after that, like 6 o'clock-ish, the club's closing. Me and Lewis went to an after party until about 8:30. Tim and Eric went on another adventure. Johnny came to the after party with us, but wasn't really into it, so he went back home. And we called it, I guess. We drove Lewis to the airport, or Lewis drove us to the airport, or rather, Eric drove us to the airport, and then Lewis actually drove the car to return it, the BMW. He missed his direct flight to New York, so had to take a transfer from Georgia to Atlanta. And then So yeah, all that was yesterday, which was just a much more chill day. And then in the evening, we went to the FC Barcelona game against Espanyol. They won 3-1. It was a decent match, you know. It wasn't particularly exciting. Decent match. I think we missed the first goal also. Getting there was insane. Parking was a bitch. Like, we literally had to park 2 kilometers away and take a taxi there and then walk back. And then after that, we went to Bellissima. Oh yeah, Dennis came with us to Barcelona match and to Bellissima. And we got a table and all this stuff, and it was okay. Sully came over. This guy Daniel I had met a few weeks ago, the meetup event came through. And yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't really like, I don't know. I don't really think I like Bellissima that much. I think it's a place to go like maybe once every 2 months, you know, once in a while. But to go consistently, it's not my vibe, and the vibe of the girls there is really not my vibe. Razzmatazz was great, surprisingly. It doesn't have a lot of girls that are my type the way Shoko does. You know, it's got more like skinny white girls. But there was still like plenty of pretty girls there. And the vibe was really fun and people were cool. I was tweaking, bro. I know I was tweaking, bro. And people were really cool. So I don't know how much of that experience was colored by the MDMA. And also that night, it was like it was an electronic music night. And they have another night that's a reggaeton night. So knowing that, I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to go on one of the reggaeton nights or the hip hop nights. It's not reggaeton, hip hop, Afro beats, that kind of music, you know. So I think it may be more appealing to my demographic than, let's say. But even just going once in a while for the electronic music would be cool. So yeah, you know, all that to say, the Bellissima, I sort of had already stopped going so much, I'm definitely gonna go way, way less. It's not W Hotel. W Hotel is my vibe. Bellissima is not W Hotel. I also feel like, you know, like, there's a part of me that still kind of is, especially going out at night, it sort of is like a thing I always have to relearn and just go through like a deep immersion. And same thing with going out during the daytime. And it actually is fun, I enjoy it, but hold on, I'm just gonna pause this. It actually is fun, I enjoy it, but it's not really a high leverage use of my time. Same way as walking around all day. And it feels like, yeah, like I build these skills and these tools, and then, you know, through like sort of consistent exposure and just making the same mistakes over and over again, it'd be like, oh yeah, I have to tweak that, tweak that, tweak that, tweak that, tweak that. Be more present, do this, do that. Don't self-sabotage, don't leave. Be more sexual or direct or whatever. And then if I don't use them, I kind of lose them because it's very contextualized. So it just feels like a mountain I'm always trying to climb, you know, like a Sisyphusian mountain. So I don't know. I guess it's just sort of to say, like, it felt like I should have been able to meet a girl this weekend, but I didn't. But you know, I guess that's fine. And what else? Yeah, man. So that's pretty much it. Now I'm back in work mode. Woke up this morning, tracked my sales KPIs for last week. Started doing the Brendan Dell onboarding sheet, like client onboarding sheet, and reviewed some leads that Mark generated. And now next thing I can do is like actually construct the outreach copy and start sending outreach emails. I also have to like onboard them into a CRM like Lucia or something like that, I guess. But I don't know if it makes sense to just start doing things manually at first and then scale that. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Let's keep it as simple as possible. Install Lucia, get those people's contact info, message 20 of them, or even 10, or even 5, or even 1, you know, and then we start from there and see how things go. Ciao. So I'm waiting outside Corte Inglés for Johnny and Eric. Johnny went to buy me my birthday gift. And I didn't want to know what it was, so it's a surprise. And I was just thinking, man, like, this dating shit, definitely there's an element of addiction to it, at least for me. And I was like, okay, well, last week I'll give myself, because my birthday week and all this stuff, I'll give myself, I guess, permission to approach a little bit again and all of that. But I think that was just a bit of a weasel, and I have to be like very mindful and intentional about the fact that I'm stopping and commit to that through the rest of the year, because otherwise I'll like find myself again doing the aimless wandering sort of thing. I mean, I do look at it as a reflection of a very deep need for connection and affiliation, and I guess I'm not getting that met directly or primarily right now, but I just don't think that's the best way to go about it. Not consistently, not at scale at least. Yeah, so from tomorrow on, I'm back in, the way that I was, right? Locked in, work, gym. I still can be social, still go to events, meet people. I'm actually going to a conference tomorrow, the Deep Barcelona Deep Tech Conference. I'm sure I'll make some connections there. I'm also, to be honest, not looking forward to Eric and Johnny leaving. Just because it's going to be like, I'm going to be feeling lonely for a little bit. I'm certain of it. And for me, that's always tough to deal with. I think that's like the hardest thing for me to deal with, is loneliness. Johnny said he thinks I need a girlfriend. I'm ready for a girlfriend. No, I do. I think I need a wife. Truly. I'm a bit over dating and all that. It's always fun to meet people. It's fun to meet beautiful women. But even I thought about, I met a young girl earlier today. I met an 18-year-old. And she was a girl that, based on the situation, I could have probably made something happen, And I actually thought about it and what I would have to do, and I have to really share myself and build a strong connection and share a lot about my family and who I am and what I've done, and almost mechanically make myself vulnerable, in order to be able to actually connect with this girl and take her home. And I was like, I don't want to do that at scale with a bunch of girls. It doesn't make sense. It feels cheap, so I don't want to do that. So yeah, I think he's right. But then of course I'm also in a relationship. I'm like, oh, I want my freedom. And then to top it all off, we're going to be dead someday. And I still have deep, deep questions about religion.
If the weather's good,
so, yeah, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. This is the last video of the day. I'm just waiting for those guys. I'm actually going to call them after this and be like, hey, where the fuck are you? I'm waiting 30 minutes. And then from there on we go.